Crocs, whenever I see the moon, it has a different shape. Why?
Millie, only the portion of the moon where sunlight falls is visible to us. Thus we see different shapes of the moon every day. The moon and other satellites. The moon. The moon is our closest neighbor in space. It is at a distance of about 384,400 kilometers from the Earth. The moon is basically a ball made of rocks and is said to be quarter the size of the Earth. The moon is the natural satellite of the Earth. Satellites are the objects that revolve around the planets. The moon does not glow on its own. It shines only because it reflects the sun's light that falls on it. Conditions on the moon. The moon's surface is rough and uneven. It has plains and even high mountains. All over the surface of the moon there are big, round, hollow structures called craters. These craters are formed when pieces of rocks called meteorites hit the surface of the moon from the space. The black spots we see on the moon are the shadows of these craters. There is no air on the moon, due to which sound waves cannot travel. Therefore, we cannot talk on the moon. Since there is no atmosphere on the moon, it becomes very cold at night. The atmosphere helps in retaining the heat. There is no water on the moon. Moon's gravity is 1/6 that of the Earth. Therefore, your weight on the moon would be only 1/6 of your weight on Earth. Due to weaker gravity, things on the moon float and do not fall down. Due to weak gravity, the moon cannot keep an atmosphere around it. Phases of the moon. Different shapes of the moon as seen from the Earth are called phases of the moon. Half of the moon's surface always faces the Earth. The part facing the sun shines while the other part remains dark. When the side of the moon facing the Earth does not get the sunlight, we cannot see the moon. This is called a new moon. When only a small portion of the moon gets sunlight, this part visible from the Earth is called its crescent phase. When half of the surface of the moon is visible to us, it is called half moon. When almost 3/4 of the facing side of the moon receives sunlight, it is called gibbous phase of the moon. When an entire side of the moon illuminates, it is called full moon. The moon itself never changes its shape. The changing shape of the moon that we see from the Earth are actually the shape of its illuminated part as it revolves around the Earth. The moon and the tides. The moon has a noticeable effect on the Earth even though its gravity is weak. The moon's gravity causes tides to occur on the seas and oceans of the Earth. A tide is the rise and fall in the level of water. Tides are of two types, high tides and low tides. When water from the Earth's surface facing the moon is pulled by the moon, it causes a high tide. In the areas between two high tides, the water forms the low tides. The rotation of the Earth causes two tides every day. As the phases of the moon vary, the intensities of the tides also vary. The highest tide occurs at the time of the new moon or full moon.